Hello and welcome to another episode of Transcontinental Overload. I'm Stephanie, your host, sitting in my recording room, wearing a coat and scarf and gloves because it is absolutely freezing here in the Northeast. And yeah, this room is unfortunately the coldest place in the house. I hope you can't hear my teeth chattering. I don't really know what to do about this, but well, the things I do for sound quality. Today, I'm talking to my expat twin, Viktoria, whose path abroad overlapped with mine not only once, but 3 times. We are also twins for a non-geographical reason because we are both podcast hosts. Viktoria is the host of the Worlds Collide podcast, and of course I've put all the info in the show notes, and of course we talk about it during our conversation as well. Viktoria is originally from Germany, but these days she and her little family live in one of my previous hometowns, Austin, the capital of Texas. And before that, she lived in the Bay Area. See, we are twins. She's been in Austin for the last 5 years, which means she moved right before COVID. And anybody who moved around that time, or maybe even during the pandemic, gets my fullest sympathy. Moving to a new place or a new country is hard enough as it is. Nobody needs a pandemic for extra flavor. We recorded this episode a few weeks before the US election. So of course we're going to be talking about the election and politics. And if you are an American listener and have no idea what Europeans think of this country and its politics, then well, I guess you'll find out in this episode. We do talk quite openly about a few topics that might be tricky for Americans, politics and religion. Anybody? So it's very normal for Germans to discuss topics like these, and the German listeners won't think anything of it. But yeah, we're quite frank, and I just wanted to point that out. I also had to laugh out loud a few times because we are the way we say things and express things, and it's not like a topic of conversation with people that maybe are just your acquaintances. I just really felt the need to point this out. We just can't help it. We're German. It's how we talk. Before we get to the episode, and before I forget, please make sure you subscribe to Transcontinental Overload so you never miss an episode. And please share the podcast with people you think might enjoy it or benefit from listening to it. It's all about creating community, and the more the merrier. I so wish I'd had a podcast like this one when I first moved abroad, as I'm a big believer in the power of stories. And if you have a story or know someone with a story, then I'm right here. Please come find me, point your friend my way, and we can set something up. I would love to hear your story. And with that, let's get to it. Let's listen to Viktoria's story. Welcome to Transcontinental Overload, Viktoria. So happy to have you here today.
Thank you for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, this is so nice. Role reversal, because I was on your podcast just a couple of months ago.
Yes.
And that was a lot of fun. It's always very strange when a podcaster is the podcast guest, I think.
I know, yes. It's like, all attention on me.
Yeah. Because, I mean, you usually talk a little bit about yourself in your, when you have a conversation with someone, but it's all about the other person.
Right.
So it's nice to have you here today, and we will talk about your podcast as well.
Thank you. Yes.
But let's start out with your story. And I mean, it's so funny because we said this in my episode as well. We are kind of twins who didn't know they were twins, because we have so many parallels in our lives. So I love that. Let's jump right in.
Okay, so I am in Austin, Texas, actually I'm in the suburbs from Austin, and I'm here for almost 5 years. And I got here, I mean, that was, like, not planned at all.
I know what
I
that's
moved
like.
Yeah, exactly. So my family and me, we were in, the Bay Area in, very close to San Francisco for 7 years. And then, I don't know, we got a little bit sick of the area because, I don't know, it is just so expensive and there was always a lot of traffic,
Yes.
you know, a lot of commuting, sitting in the car all
Yep.
day long, you know? So,
This is the other
yeah,
parallel we have.
yes, and then my husband once got the opportunity to, with his job, he got a position offered in Austin. And then we're like, "Oh, all right, yeah, change would be nice. Yeah, let's
Mhm.
do it." And then we packed our bags and moved to Austin.
Mhm.
And yeah, been here
Wow. Yep.
since
5
then.
years. And so
Mm-hmm.
we did overlap for a little while, but we didn't know about each other. So because
Yeah, exactly.
you
Yes.
didn't have the podcast at the time, and you were not on my radar.
Yeah,
So
no, actually, maybe I was. I mean, I don't know this, but so when I was in San Francisco, I had a food truck, a German food truck. And we did a lot of whatever. We went to the German schools and we
Mhm,
were
mhm.
all over like San Francisco and the Bay
So
Area.
we might have crossed paths there before, and
Maybe,
we just
yes.
didn't know. I like to, so sometimes I like to think that we probably walked past each other, you know.
Well, maybe. It
But
could
also,
be.
we might have walked past each other even earlier than that because, like myself, you did not grow up in the US, but in
No.
Germany. So
Yes, exactly. So,
let's
yes,
go
all right,
right
let's go.
back there.
All right, let's go back all the way. So yeah, I am from Germany. I'm from I mean, very industrial area. I'm from the West. Like here nobody knows it. You know, like everybody asks me, so where you're from? Like half an hour from the Netherlands, you know, because it's like a small town close to Cologne.
I mean, to be honest, I don't really know German geography very well. So I just
Yeah,
I know
exactly.
roughly where Cologne is, and I know where Hamburg is, and Berlin and Munich, and that's it.
Yeah, exactly. I see you
So,
like everyone.
so, you know, but
Yeah.
when you say Ruhrpott to me, then I know. So
Yeah, yeah, okay, yes. I'm from like even close to it. I'm
yeah,
from more like the countryside
yeah,
version of the
yeah.
Ruhrpott from Sauerland. Okay, and yeah, so I came to the US because oh my God, this was not even on my radar. So when I studied, I I wanted to do like a semester abroad. I'm like, I go anywhere. I signed up for like all the programs, you know, like I gotta
Get
go
me out of
to
here.
whatever Wales or New Zealand
Mhm,
or I don't even remember what it was. Like there are like some other places in England or and then there was also like one for San Diego. I'm like, all right, sign up for all of them but I at least like get me out of here kind of thing. You
I
know, I don't know.
absolutely empathize with that as well.
Because like I don't know.
What did you
I s-
study?
I studied tourism.
Okay.
You know, so I was already like I'm
Yeah,
out of here.
halfway out the
Yes.
door. The focus is for sure outside of Germany.
Yes,
Yeah.
it was always like I remember like looking back when I was still like a teenager and talking to my friends from my small hometown. They're like, "Oh yeah, I want to grow up old. I want to grow old here. I want to live here forever." And I was like, no, no,
Mhm.
absolutely not. Like, I want to see the world. I want to see places.
Yeah.
And yeah, I don't know. So when I studied, it was like also like I have to go somewhere. So the university picked then San Diego for me. And I mean, like, okay, San Diego, I have heard of it, but I thought it's, I am mistaken it with Seattle, you know? so I mean I'm like oh I thought like we're going like all the way up on the west coast like close to
Mhm.
Canada. I'm like oh no it's like
No,
oh
actually.
actually close to Mexico other way.
Yeah, better weather. Mm.
Better weather, yes. But yeah, so I went to San Diego and when I was in San Diego I I mean, I liked it a lot. I must like we were like by the beach all the time, like
Hmm.
studying for me was always how do you say, like more like on the back, it was always for me like living my life and having a great
Yeah.
time and partying. So that was my main focus.
Well,
So I was like in the right place in San
but
Diego for
tourism
that.
also, come on, tourism, you feel like that is much more about the lived experience anyway, rather than just dry,
Yes.
like reading material. I mean,
Yeah, exactly.
it's like you can't learn that trade unless you're actually out there meeting people.
Right,
So,
right, exactly. I've never seen it that way, but you're probably right.
oh, I can find an explanation and an excuse for anything. So, yeah.
So, yeah, and then I visited San Francisco for like one long weekend. It was like the Thanksgiving weekend or
Mm,
something. And I just like fell in love with the city.
yeah.
I don't know, I absolutely loved it. It was just so great. I mean, I didn't even see much. I think we were
Mm,
only like in the downtown area, but like I saw the people, like whatever, like a little bit more alternative. They're cuddled
hmm.
up because it was cold, then like nice
Yeah.
buildings,
So
and
pretty and
it is so
colorful.
pretty.
Yes. Yeah.
Yes. So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, I wanna like try
Hmm.
to come here like for longer.
Hmm.
And then after my semester abroad and after I finished then my studies, I found an internship in San Francisco for a year. It was like a hotel management
Hmm.
position paid. So I'm like,
Perfect.
oh yeah, do it. Yeah, I'll do it. So I don't know, like I was so eager to find something.
Hmm.
Like usually I'm really like more like shy or like more like staying in the background, but there I was so motivated. So I just went on Expedia and
Hmm.
like pulled up like a list of all the hotels and I just called all of them, just went on the phone like, hey, I'm from Germany. Can I get, are you doing international internships? And then whatever, I think I only called like five because then I was already like at that one place where they
Hmm.
say like, oh yeah, I transfer you to our general manager. And then I was like talking on the phone with the general manager, and he said, like, yeah, send me your resume. And then
Awesome.
I had it. It was like so quick. It took me
Wow.
like one day to find the
That's
internship, you
so
know?
fun. But do you think sometimes, I mean, you wouldn't do this today, would you?
No,
Because I always
absolutely
feel like
not.
sometimes you have when you're that young, you're just so you don't care or you don't even think, even if you're shy. I was very kind of like, yeah, oh, I was felt very shy as well and not very daring. But
Right.
sometimes I'm like, wow, I'm amazed at the bravery sometimes of
I
of
know.
those
But
kids.
yeah, I mean, now I would probably not do it. I
Yeah.
mean, now, okay, now sure, I'm not as like
Mm.
insecure of like picking up a phone and call
Yeah, yeah,
someone,
yeah.
but
But that
like,
confidence of,
but
oh,
yeah, I
well, you've
mean,
got nothing to
no.
lose. You've got nothing to lose. I think that just yeah, that disappears
Yeah,
over the
exactly.
over
But
the
I
years.
mean, also, like, I
Yeah.
mean, I guess like that's just it was more like about the place where I wanted to
Hmm.
go
Yeah.
than about the direction. So yeah, and then
Hmm.
I I went there to my internship
Hmm.
and then when it was over, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go back, but I don't want to. And then, but I had to because my visa was out, my internship
Yeah.
was out, and
All of a sudden, there was not an option to
I
stay
called.
on.
I called like the what was it called? The embassy
Uh-huh.
because there was like a 12 months option for the visa, which I had, but then there was also
Mm.
like an 18 months option for
Yeah.
the visa. And I was just wondering if you can extend it, but they said like no, you have to
Mm.
like choose it in the beginning when you like apply for it. You cannot
Yeah.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
switch
Yeah.
it, extend it. So I was like, okay, no, I
Mm.
couldn't. And then I was even thinking of like studying there, but then I was like,
Mm.
no, this is like too expensive.
Mm.
And so I went back to Germany and I was just so, I don't know, so lost.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to work. I don't
Hmm.
know where to go. I don't want to be here. And I mean, I don't know. I did this and that and a lot of things, and I was
Hmm.
never happy. Kind
But
of,
you were already thinking, I need to get away again, or were you thinking,
yeah,
I need to get
yeah,
back to San Francisco?
yeah, exactly. So I mean, like when I first came, I was like, okay, now I'm going to Berlin
Hmm.
because I don't want to stay with my parents in this like 300
Yeah, yeah, yeah. You've seen
people
the
small
world. You've
town.
seen the world. You can't go back there. No.
Yeah, so I mean, I was there for
Yeah.
like a month, and then I said like, "Oh yeah, my old friend from uni, he has a place
Mhm.
in his what do you call it, WG,
Yeah.
shared
Like,
apartment.
yeah,
I
shared
gotta
up.
move
Yeah.
there.
Hmm.
I'm moving to Berlin tomorrow," kind of thing. But it's I don't know. Berlin was not my vibe, and I didn't love it. So I was just like, okay, where am I gonna go? And then I was like, all right, let's go to Central America just for traveling, and then go to South America just for traveling. But I
Hmm.
always wanted just to go back to San Francisco.
Hmm.
I don't know. And then I talked to my parents. I mean, this been I don't know. That's like some time in between, right? It's not like right the next day or something. It was like a year and a half. And then I decided, and I said like, hey, what about if I just open like a restaurant in San Francisco, like a German restaurant? And they're like,
Hmm.
oh, maybe, because my background, also my parents, they have a restaurant, a German restaurant, and a like a bed and breakfast
Yeah. Okay.
in
So
Germany.
that kind of ties in. So you have that
Yeah,
experience and background and your tourism degree.
right. So I was like, why? What
Yeah.
about if I look into it, like how to open a restaurant or
Hmm.
something like that in San Francisco? And then I had this, whatever, my old roommate in San Francisco, she was from Italy originally, and she went away for the summer, and she posted on Facebook, "Hey, I'm
Hmm.
looking for anybody want to sublet my room for 6 weeks?" And I'm like, I
Okay.
do it. It's like so cheap.
Yep.
you
Perfect.
know. I went and then I did all the research, and then I like, okay, I'm gonna start a food truck.
Wow.
And then I don't know. So yeah, I was very motivated. So I could did all my homework for that, like found a food truck,
Hmm.
found, I don't know, like looked up all the legal and permits and
So
what you have to do.
that's massive because it's that I mean very brave. I mean clearly, and most people know that the US is very good with people like entrepreneurs and people who have ideas, and it's people are very enthusiastic about things like that. So I always feel like there's much more of an adventurous spirit here than in Germany, for
Yeah, it
example.
was. I mean, like now I would also like be not as brave anymore. But then I was like, I don't know. I
Yeah,
was like, I
that is so
have to do
cool.
it. Like, I want to, I'm
Yeah,
like, I will
yeah,
do this and I can do
yeah.
this. And I just try it. And yeah. And if it doesn't work out, then at least I can say I tried it.
Hmm. So so you specialize in German food.
I did.
What sort of food did you
Oh,
make?
I did like Currywurst and Bratwurst with sauerkraut and potatoes and
Fantastic.
Spätzle.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
yeah, so I mean, it was always very, very funny because everybody said, "This is so exotic," and I'm like, "This is so not exotic."
But it's cool, and San Francisco is such an international place as well. So then you get the what you mentioned earlier, the German school and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. So I definitely had my niche,
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was not one of many. I
Hmm.
was like the only one.
Yeah.
So yeah, I did it for like 7 years.
Wow. So did that make because I'm just thinking of all the visa requirements and stuff. That did that mean that you could because you had the idea and the funding to start this
Exactly,
business, so you got a visa?
because I bought the food truck.
Yeah.
And then I could do this
Hmm.
E2 visa.
Hmm.
Because like I had made an investment.
Yeah. Okay.
So I had the food truck, and then I could always extend the visa
Mm-hmm.
as long as I run that business.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, it was so much work. It was. I did not expect it, but I was fine with
Yeah.
it, but it was just so labor intensive.
Mm-hmm.
I remember like in the beginning, I think the first month I was just in pain,
Yeah.
like physical pain because my body hurt so much. You have to lift like all these like 50-pound
Yeah.
potato boxes.
And where did you get all your supplies and like the sausages and everything?
All right. So, I mean, mostly I got everything from like the meats and the packaging and the
Mm-hmm.
fries and whatever flour, cheese, and all the
Mm.
ingredients from Restaurant Depot. But there was actually one for the sausages. There was one German style sausage company that
Mm-hmm.
was actually from the Bay Area,
Mm-hmm.
and I mean, the sausages tasted pretty much one to one like a German bratwurst. And
Wow.
it was really hard to find because, like, I don't know if you ever experienced, try to find like a
It's
German style bratwurst. It's like,
no, and that's why I'm asking
never.
because I feel like when we were in the Bay Area and there was a German butcher and a German bakery
Yeah.
and they made, I mean, the sausages they made on the premises, and
Uh-huh.
the bakery they imported all their flour and everything from Germany. So that's why I'm asking, because that's quite
Yeah.
intensive. I mean, that's because they were like, we can't get the right ingredients, so we need to import it all. And it's like, yeah, that
Yeah.
was reflected in the prices, obviously. But
Uh, I mean, I only used flour for making spätzle.
mm, yeah,
And
it's
American
not quite.
flour worked as well for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, yes.
I was not
You're not.
making like a special kind of pretzel or
No, I think
anything.
that's yeah, that's a bit of a
For
different.
what I
Mhm.
needed, the American
Yeah.
flour worked as well.
So you did that for 7 years.
I did it for 7 years, yes, until my husband got the opportunity to move us to Austin. I mean, at that
Okay.
point, I was also like, I was really done with it because
Hmm.
um, in the beginning, I had like a lot of fun on that
Yeah.
business. I had like a great team. But then, I mean, do you remember the time in the Bay Area where like kind of everybody got evicted because of everybody wanted to like have double the income of their apartments kind of thing,
Yes.
right? And
But
so like,
they have all these crazy laws with the where the property tax was still the same for people who hadn't moved since the 70s. It was still the
yeah,
same. That was the crazy thing about the Bay Area, because you had so much wealth, and at the same time you have all this stuff happening where people can't live
can't pay their
in.
rent and like end up.
And yeah, San Francisco changed quite a lot
It
in
changed a lot,
that
yes.
time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I think that was also probably part of why I wasn't so happy anymore
Hmm.
because, like, I don't know, I mean, a homeless problem
Hmm.
in San Francisco
Yeah.
was just overwhelming. In
Yeah.
Oakland was the same.
Yeah. Where did you live
Uh,
in the
um,
city?
in the in the city I lived in the beginning I lived in a few different neighborhoods. I lived
Hmm.
in the Sunset,
Hmm.
in North Beach, and
Hmm.
in the Haight. And then I
Okay.
moved to the East Bay, to Oakland, and to Alameda.
And so at what point did you meet your husband? How does he
Oh,
fit
he's
in?
from Germany.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I met him in Germany
Hmm.
when I was already in the process of moving to the US. So we were together really shortly. We were
And then you were
like,
like, "Hey, bye, I'm off to San Francisco now."
yeah, pretty much. So I mean, he knew it like right from the beginning. Um, and then we were like, okay, how are we gonna do it? He came visit me
Hmm.
for like 4 weeks mm,
Hmm.
in the beginning, like after like 2 months or something. And then we're just like, all right, let's just get married.
So he
So
moved.
So yeah, and so he had to go back, and then like he had to apply for the
Mm.
visa, but everything went pretty quick. Like he moved a couple of months later.
Wow. So and what did he do? Was
Well,
he
he
able?
started. I mean, he found a job pretty quickly.
Hmm.
I mean, in the beginning, um he worked like on concerts, setting up
Hmm.
stages, just like stagehand, or and then he worked like here and there, like an office, like in a tech
Hmm.
startup, like a few hours, whatever they could afford to pay him. And
Hmm.
then like he found a job as a contractor for Apple,
Hmm.
and then he stayed there. He
Okay.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
ditched the contractor position, but he stayed
Yeah.
in that job.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
it's
I mean, it
that's
kind
one
of,
of the big employers in the Silicon Valley that
yeah,
just.
exactly. And I think it always helps when you're like speak a second language, you know?
Hmm. Hmm.
So I
Yeah.
feel like you have definitely a nice bonus there.
Yeah. So then, and then you were in Auckland and then Alameda.
Mhm.
Um, yeah, I only ever drove through there once because we lived on the peninsula.
Yeah, you
So
lived
yeah,
all the
yeah.
way
We
down,
looked
yes.
initially. We looked in the East Bay as well, but it was too far for work. Because people had said, yeah, go to Auckland, go to like Berkeley, that area, and it's like, yeah, that's
Right.
very nice, but it's yeah, if you can live in a shoebox.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
No,
up
I
there.
mean, like when we lived in
Mm.
Oakland, it was just the two of us, but when we moved to Alameda,
Hmm.
I was pregnant. And so we also looked for a little bit
Hmm.
something bigger, and then maybe not where like all the crazy people are like sleeping in front of your doorstep, the
Yes.
whole
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Because like, okay, now there's
Yeah.
like a little person involved. Maybe
Yes. Well,
let's ditch
that's
this cool but crazy neighborhood kind of
yeah,
thing.
kind of cramps your style a little bit, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Having kids.
exactly. Exactly. And I think
Yeah.
like having a kid then also was a point of why I wanted to stop working on my food truck, because
Hmm.
like working like in the food industry doesn't have the most family friendly hours.
No.
It's like you work when other people like have fun or like come
Hmm.
home. So yeah, and then also a part of it was, as I mentioned earlier, the time when like a lot of people got evicted, like
Hmm.
that happened to some people who worked for me.
Hmm.
So and then they moved away, and then I don't know, we had like a really good um yeah, really good vibe
Yeah.
at work, but I was like never ever able to find that again. I don't know. I always like had the feeling like everybody just want to get paid a lot of money but don't want
Hmm.
to work, because we were in the Bay Area. And I mean, it was like a food truck job. It
Yep.
was
Yep.
not
Yep.
like, hey, so but like they still asked like, hey, can you pay me
Yeah.
$25 an hour? I'm like, I
Yeah.
don't think so. I don't think I can afford that. Uh,
Yeah.
So it was really hard to find
Yeah.
people, and I was really fed up with having unreliable
Mm.
people who were
Yeah, and
really like,
especially if you
oh,
if you have a kid and a family and you kind of have to rely on people to show up for work so you can
exactly.
get
And
home
also like
and
you don't have like a support system who like can just come and take your
mm,
child from you. Like I always were
yeah,
like,
no
all right, like
parents, no
after like,
grandparents.
yes, exactly. So it's like,
Yeah.
no, goes to daycare until 4 o'clock. I have to be there at 4 o'clock. I
Yeah.
cannot
Yeah.
make any exceptions. Like,
Yeah. Not sustainable. Mm,
yes. So I don't know, it was really stressful. And then
mm,
I was like, all right, just like try something new.
yeah.
Let's move.
Hmm.
And then, yeah, we moved.
So then did your husband get a job with Apple in Austin?
Yeah.
Was that the
Yeah.
okay. Yeah. Because
Yeah.
that kind of coincided with the time that Austin became the new California, right? Where all of a
Yeah,
sudden,
exactly.
because I feel like when
Exactly.
when we moved to Austin, that was the beginning of that, and it was really funny because when we first moved, and people said, "Oh, where are you from?" And we would be like, "Oh, we just moved. We're from Europe, but we just moved from California." And people would be like, "Well, we don't want to talk to you.
Yeah,
We don't
exactly.
want the Californians here." So we
It
stopped
was
saying
so
it.
weird. Exactly. So I know it was like, if people ask me where you're from, I
Hmm.
always also said the same. Like, I'm
Hmm.
from Germany, but we just moved here from California. But like, you are like so afraid of even like saying that you moved from
Yes.
California, because I
Uh-huh.
remember like we moved here and we still had the California license plates. And I
Yes.
have
Oh.
like one friend who is from
Hmm.
like, I met her like on a vacation trip like a long
Hmm.
time ago, but she is from Texas.
Hmm.
And the first thing she told me, like, you have to change
Get
your
rid of
license
that.
plates
Yes.
as soon as you can, because like people hate on you when
Your
they see
car's
you
gonna
from
get
California.
keyed. Yes, I know. We had the same
Oh,
people said that to us. So yeah, and you just
so
feel like,
you feel already so
hmm,
unwelcomed, you know?
hmm.
You're just like, oh,
But do you
I don't
find, because
know.
when I would say, "Oh, I'm German," then people would really warm up to me, and that was so nice because people, I mean, Texas has a there's a lot of German heritage and all those
Yeah.
towns with German names, and so I found that would break the ice, and people would be um much more welcoming. But yeah, the
Mm.
California thing just had to go.
I don't think I had that experience because we moved just before the pandemic. So we moved in November, and
Oh,
then in March it
mm-hmm.
was the
Yeah,
lockdown.
yeah.
So
Oh
I feel
God.
like we didn't have that.
Mm,
No, I don't know. I mean, I was happy that I had my daughter to like go and mingle with other
mm,
parents, but I don't know. For me, it was always hard to make like small talk. It's like
yeah.
this American thing that I don't enjoy as
Mm-hmm.
much, you know? And I'm like,
It's
oh, just rather not. Even in the beginning, I remember like when like you had to like tell your story over and
oh.
over
Mm-hmm.
again, you know, because you just meet
Mm-hmm.
new people all the time. I was just like, maybe I
Mm-hmm.
just make up a new story, you know? It's like I will not meet those people again. Like I can just say whatever I want. Why am I not whatever this whatever? I'm like a famous author, and I'm writing under a synonym or
It's
something
great.
like this.
Oh, did you actually do
No, I
it?
never did it because I know that karma
Yeah.
is a bitch. You know?
I would sometimes put on a fake accent, and
Ah,
because
okay.
then I wouldn't get the questions or would get different questions. And so kind of in a similar way, up
Yeah.
just like, please don't ask me again.
Yes, it's like, oh my
But
God, like
yeah.
exactly. If I hear one more
Hmm.
time, like, where in Germany are you from? Like, oh no. And here we are again.
But it's so hard because on the one hand, you want to meet people and you want to kind of feel more integrated and a sense of
Yeah.
community, and then on the other hand, it's very tedious to
Yes,
do
it
that because
is.
it takes so long to find the people that you actually like.
I know, because like you're like doing two
Yeah.
hours of small
Hmm.
talk, and
Yeah.
then you at that point when you notice you don't have
It's not
anything in
working.
common.
No. Yeah. Yeah. I feel like, I don't know, I got better over time to know earlier, sooner than, and it sounds very bitchy sometimes, but I wouldn't, now I feel much more like I meet someone and I can tell within, half an hour if it's going to go anywhere or not
Yeah.
to this.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still like friendly, you
Mhm.
know, and
Yeah.
like ask
Yeah.
questions, but
Yeah.
I'm okay if they don't ask questions about me because like
Hmm.
you probably
So
wouldn't know what to ask anyway.
So how was that for you? The difference. Obviously, when you first moved to San Francisco, you were in a whole different situation. You were much younger and you were single and all
Yes.
that. So it's a different way of arriving somewhere. Whereas
Yes.
when you got to Austin, it's like you were part of a family, and then there's a whole different story.
Yes.
And it's Texas, which is also
And
not
it's Texas. Yes. I
California.
mean, for me, the move to Texas was like a bigger culture shock than moving from Germany to California. Also, I mean, I guess I knew what to expect from California. I've been there before, but to Texas, sure, I visited Austin twice and I
Hmm.
always liked Austin, but Austin is like this its own little bubble in Texas. And I like when I moved here, I was just like, I guess I was just blind or like
Mhm.
naive because like people told me like, yeah, but you're in Austin, and then outside of Austin there is nothing. But I didn't want to hear them, you know. I was like, I'm
Yeah,
ready
yeah,
for
yeah.
a change. We're moving there,
Yes.
and you tell me this is a stupid idea.
Mhm.
I don't care, you know.
I felt exactly the same way. I had people say to me, "Why don't you just move to a different area in California? Maybe you don't need to stay in Silicon Valley. If you don't like it, just go somewhere else." And I'm like, "No, I need a new city. I need a new me." And it's
Yeah.
like, I don't know, sometimes you just yeah.
And also like I don't know, at that point when we moved, I was like so ready to ditch my car, you know. I was like, I don't want to be car dependent all the time because I mean in the Bay Area you don't have to be car dependent, but because of my job and the area where I parked my truck, I was car dependent. But I was like,
Mhm.
I don't want to drive my car anymore. And then I moved to Austin. You know,
Of
it's like
all
the places of
places.
all the places exactly where you cannot survive without a car. And I'm like, oh,
No.
all right. So here I am again, like living in my car.
Yeah.
Um, I don't remember like how it was in the beginning because I mean I enjoyed that it was much warmer in
Mm.
November than it was in the Bay Area. And then moved into an area where you could actually like walk to
Mhm.
places. You know, we lived like close to South Congress.
Mhm. Yeah.
So I don't know,
There's
it's
a
like the
lot going
cool
on.
area. It's like a nice area. Exactly. But then
Yeah,
of course,
and then you have
then
the
was
live the
COVID.
music.
Yeah, okay, yeah, but also you don't do those like live music when you have like like a 2-year-old, you know?
No. So you at that point were you
So
did you already have your second child or was that
no, no,
okay.
no. I was pregnant in the pandemic.
Okay. Oh, on top of everything else. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. It was not the best time, I guess, but not for
No,
anybody.
no, not. I think anyone moving during that time or just before the pandemic. I know so many people who moved countries in that time, and it's like I don't even know. I find moving really hard, and I can't even imagine moving in the pandemic. And
Yeah,
then
I mean, it
just
was just lonely, kinda,
yeah,
you know? You already only knew like
yeah,
whatever, like 3 people,
yeah.
and you couldn't see anyone, but I
Mhm.
mean, so we're just stuck at home. On top of that, it was like we experienced the first summer in
Yeah.
Austin,
Oh
which
my God.
is brutal. It's
Yeah.
so hot and so long. And I don't know,
Hmm.
like I already was not used to the heat then, but then I was pregnant. And I think like
Oh,
when you're pregnant, you're like even more sensitive to it. I remember
of
I was like only
course.
lying on the bathroom floor because like
Yeah.
that was like the only cold place in the
Yeah.
house.
And it is really, it's a heat that if you haven't experienced it, you just don't know. Because I remember that first summer, we moved in February to Austin, and then
Uh-huh.
I kind of loved it until May. And then
Yeah.
it rained. It rained for like 3 weeks straight, and then the heat just came, and then it was so humid, and I really thought I was trapped. I was in a cage and I couldn't get out, and I was so depressed, and no one could, like, people back home were like, well, at least it's sunny, and I'm like, I don't care, it's just horrible.
Yeah.
It was
No, it was
so, it was
horrible.
unbearable. It's that sort of heat where you open a window and it just
Yeah, it
hits
was
you,
so
and
humid.
mhm,
Ugh,
yeah,
and it always
you just feel disgusting all the time, like all your
yes.
clothes
And it's
stick,
like
and yeah.
you just don't want to be outside, you know? It was so
Mhm.
depressing because you see the sun is outside and whatever your first intention is like, "Oh, let's go
Yeah,
out and
yeah,
enjoy the
yeah.
sun." And then it's
No,
like,
you can't even
God, it's
sit.
like, no, you can't. And then on
Yeah.
top of that, there are mosquitoes everywhere, so you just get eaten alive. You know, so it was not a good time. Oh my God.
But I can't even imagine doing that pregnant as well. Oh my God, that just yeah. So let's
Uh,
say that first year in Austin
was not good.
was
I mean, it I mean, I guess like when you like Austin still had like a strict lockdown, but like if you moved like to the next county, it was
Mm-hmm.
like,
Mm-hmm.
eh,
Yeah.
lockdown? What's that kind of
We're
thing, right?
Texan. No one can tell us anything.
Yeah,
Sort of.
exactly. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
in sense
Yeah.
of that, I was still happy that I could drive for like half an hour, and
Yeah.
then I went to a
Mm-hmm.
playground, or like a splash
Yeah.
pad with my
Yeah.
little one. I mean, they had like some precautions.
Mm.
You still wore like a mask
Mm-hmm.
outside, but there were things that you could do. So I was
Yeah.
like very happy about that. Let's
Yeah.
say
Yeah.
it that way. But I mean, on top of that, then it was an election year as well.
Yeah.
And oh my God, like when you live in California, you live in a bubble.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, you don't
Mm-hmm.
need to, I mean, at least like for me, because I'm also, I guess people would say like I'm a lefty. So
Yeah.
you're
It's.
not bothered by politics. You live like in the whatever, in the most liberal town or
Mm-hmm.
area in the country, feels like, so it's
Yeah.
like, oh yeah, everything goes my way. And then you
Yep.
go to
And then you go to
Texas. Oh
Texas.
my God. And then all of a sudden I'm like, why are there
Mm-hmm.
like Trump flags everywhere? Not in
Yeah.
Austin, but when you left the town,
Yeah.
because
Oh, but even
Austin,
still, I feel like there's those pockets in the city that
not
because
in
you
not
could
in
kind
the
of, yeah, you could fool
not
yourself. You could
yeah,
fool
you can.
yourself. I feel like we were surrounded because we moved to Austin in 2016, which was the year
Uh-huh. The
Trump
previous
and then
election, yeah.
yeah, and then we were still there for the next one. So we were
Uh-huh.
there for the 2020 election, and it's just yeah. This is I mean this year this is my fourth election in the US. Yeah, just realizing that the first one we were in California and it was Obama. So
Uh-huh. Yeah.
God, that was so harmless and so
I know, exactly. It was so harmless.
but I mean this one now I feel even where we are here because New Jersey is Democrat state and we're so close to New York, so you kind of assume
Mhm.
everyone is a Democrat. Oh
Mhm.
no, I was driving along a road here in my town, and every day there's a new Trump sign outside,
Oh
and
my
I'm
God,
just
yes.
like, I didn't realize. I just
Yes,
didn't.
no. But I mean, like, I feel like in California there were no signs. I mean, especially like when you're in the city, I mean, nobody,
Yeah.
whatever,
Oh
waves a
yeah,
flag from
that's
their balcony
very
or something
very
like
true.
that,
I don't know,
right?
maybe that's changed now as well, but I felt
Maybe.
in Austin it was like every house had a sign outside.
In our neighborhood, there were not a lot of Trump signs. So
Yeah.
I was like, all right, that's fine. But when you left out Austin, you're like,
Yes.
Trump and Ted Cruz.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm like, oh my God. Like, so I
But
was,
this
I
is
was like,
our
what the fuck what's
this is
going
our
on?
European perspective.
Yes.
I found moving to Texas very I really liked how it made me much more aware of the American psyche, because you just have a completely different bunch of people there, just
Yeah.
different type. And Texans are very
Yes,
very
exactly. Yes.
different and very progressive in a lot of ways when it comes to business and all sorts of things, but then so conservative that you feel like you're back in the 60s
Yeah, it's
sometimes.
like, what also like was a big culture shock for me
Hmm.
when we moved to Texas, that all of a sudden you have churches everywhere,
Hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not religious. So
Hmm.
in the Bay Area, I mean, sure there were churches, but I
Hmm.
mean, whatever, same
It's
as
a
in Europe.
I feel like I learned so much about this country when my kids went to school through school, and that's how I realized that all the kids in school go to church on Sundays.
Exactly. This is how I learned too. When my daughter went then to school, and I was waiting to pick her up with like all
Mhm.
the other moms, and I was
Mhm.
like eavesdropping on their conversation. It was all of a sudden, it was just church, church, church,
Yes,
church,
and church
church.
camp, but they all went to church camp in during the
And I was
summer,
like,
and
"Oh, yes." It's
yeah.
like, "What's going on? Like, why is
Hmm.
everybody in church?"
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, even like people you don't expect it. Like, I have now this lesbian
Hmm.
couple friends, and they're like
Hmm.
they're married, and they go to church every Sunday, you know?
Yeah.
I'm like, "Oh,"
It's
like, I
part
don't
of,
know, for me,
yeah,
this is so different.
it's a big part of the American community spirit,
Yeah, exactly. It is the community.
where it's such an individualistic country when it comes to politics and freedom, individual freedom and
Yeah,
rights and
but
all this sort of stuff. But then that's where they get the community.
I know, but then they have the freedom of, like, picking one of 200 different kinds of
Yeah.
Protestant churches, you know? I mean,
I remember my not my older one, but the younger one would say, "Oh, my friend so and so, I want to can I have a sleepover and then go to church with her on Sunday?" And I'd be like, "Uh, well," and I really struggled, I was
yeah,
really like,
uh-huh,
actually, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with that because
uh-huh.
this is like our family doesn't do that, but at the same time, well, you want to experience it. Well, she just wanted to wear a nice dress. That was the
Ah,
that was
okay.
the and there was some boys as well. So then as they got
Ah,
older, it was all about that because they got to hang out after church. And then so she wanted to be part
ah,
of that. And then I felt really uncomfortable because I'm like, this is just so strange to
this is
me
so
because
weird to
we're
hang
we're not
out.
religious, and
Yeah.
it's just not part of what we do. And I can't even remember if she ended up going or not. I remember once in the Bay Area, actually, the same thing happened, and she was much younger then. She was like 6, and she wanted to go with her Mormon friend, and
Ooh.
and that and I actually said no. You're not going,
Yeah, no, that's
I'm
too
sorry,
much.
you're not going there. I know it's just about the dress, and that was what it was because her friend was got to wear the prettiest dress
Of course.
and her hair and got everything, got her nails done for church, and I'm like, no.
Yeah.
um
Yeah, but it's funny.
I'm
Yeah,
like,
no.
let's just see and talk about this a little bit, and maybe we'll talk about the different faiths and the different reasons why people go to church and all that. And we found something else to do, but it's a tricky one because it's so much part of the psyche here.
I know. So for me also, like, I feel like I got really run over. They're like these really church active moms in what in the grade my daughter is. And one day, like, she came home with a flyer for after school Bible classes.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I was like, "No, you cannot do this. This is like brainwashing to me. Like,
Mm.
we're not like religious. Like, now, like, I'm getting all these questions from her that I'm
Yeah,
not prepared of. Like, who is God? Who is
yeah.
Jesus? Like, no, sorry. Like, I just like felt like, hey, sorry,
Well,
like you cannot
and
do this.
I feel like there's nothing wrong with that and bringing up topics like that when
Yeah.
you have children. Obviously, you want to talk about these things and explain
Yes.
why maybe we don't believe this or we do believe something else. Or
Mm-hmm.
but it's when and this is again coming from a European perspective, when because you read in the news how in the US how people are banning books and
Right.
trying to hang crosses and nothing else and have yeah, it's so the Christian values and stuff
It's
to
just
the
so
detriment
extreme
of other
sometimes.
faiths, exactly, where it's becoming this, like you said, it's a bit of brainwashing going on. Then it's like, no, I don't want anyone else to tell my kid about these things. That has to be
Exactly.
me
Ex
and no one else.
Yeah, and especially, like, I mean, I did not know it at that time, but then later I found out that that church group,
Hmm.
they're like Baptist church and they're
Hmm.
very homophobe, you know?
Yeah,
So I'm like, no, like, I cannot send my child, my 6-year-old, to this
yeah,
group where they probably tell, no, like, girls cannot marry girls because that is
yeah.
bad, or like boys cannot like boys because, you know, and
And
I
those are
know
all things that you want to talk to your kids about.
exactly,
and
like, this
and
is like crossing a line.
mhm,
That was
yes,
like totally overstepping.
yeah.
But on the other hand, like, we went once to a church because
Mm.
I got invited to a christening, and that was like a really, how do you say, like a really like hip church. I mean, I don't even remember like what kind of
Mhm.
subgenre of
Yeah.
of Protestant it was. but it was like really hip, you know. There was a band, you know,
Hmm.
the pastor, he looked almost like a hipster, you know. You know, they were like playing like what's going on from Four Non Blondes, you
Yeah.
know. So maybe they changed the lyrics a little bit here and there, but it
Yeah.
was like, oh, this is like, it feels almost like a party, you know.
Hmm.
It so
Yeah.
so
It's
I mean,
just,
I can see that people like to go to
yeah.
those kinds of events because it felt really welcoming. They had like coffee and
Yeah.
cake for everyone who came.
And the community aspect, I think, is
Yeah.
massive, and is especially for someone who's new in a city, whether you're from another country or another state or another town. It's You've got like an instant community. So I totally get the appeal, and the you don't have to be alone if you don't want to
Yeah,
be.
exactly.
And I
I
think that's
always say that too.
fantastic. It's
Yes.
it's great. And when they rally, I remember like someone this was in the Mormon community back in California. They were so tight. Like one of them had to go to hospital for an operation, and then the whole community came together, and they had like a timesheet of who was going to make dinner when and pick up the kids here
Oh,
and there.
wow,
And so it
wow.
was like clockwork. It was amazing. So for someone who doesn't have family nearby, I
Yeah,
mean, wonderful, really.
yeah,
It's just, for me, it's always that the religious element that I'm
exactly.
like, I don't want that to
Exactly. I say
influence.
that too. I like that community part
Yes. Yeah.
minus the Jesus part.
Yeah. Yes. And
You know,
I
I
really,
mean,
really,
I would be
yeah.
totally down for this whole community
Yeah.
aspect,
Yeah.
and I like that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I mean, I really have to be careful here,
Oh,
what
yes.
church that is, because
Yeah.
as you mentioned earlier, like some are just
Hmm.
so extreme and they just preach the wrong things.
And
So yeah.
it's like it's everyone, exactly. And it's completely down to whoever wants to do things that way. But I feel like if my family is affected,
Yeah.
this is not something that's negotiable.
Yeah.
I don't want anyone telling my kids about religion.
Yeah. Yes. But what also is very new to me here, something, I mean, didn't affect me in California also
Mhm.
because my children were so little or not even there yet. But here in school, I mean, also the Texas thing in general, the patriotism.
Yeah.
It's so strong here. I mean, they're so proud of being
Yeah,
Texan and
but
to
see,
like
you're
the
from
American.
the from like,
Exactly the opposite, you know. It's like we don't teach patriotism. We have like zero patriotism.
I grew up in Bavaria, so I'm familiar with that sort of
Yes,
attitude a
right.
lot.
But for
It's
me, that was like, nope,
Yeah.
not a thing. And I'm like, what's going on? Like, this is too much for me. And then also um the military thing or the patriotism in school, like
Hmm.
they learned in like pre-K. So when they're like 4 or 5 years old, they do the honors of legions every day.
Hmm.
You know, that's crazy. You know, I was like, am I gonna be that crazy parent that like signs the paper like my
My
children is not taking part of this? But then I didn't want to be here to be the weird one on the
Of
other side,
course.
you know?
And your kids will just want to do what all the other kids are doing. So
Yes,
they
exactly.
can't see why they shouldn't. And it's a really tricky thing, I think, when they're really young, because they're so easily influenced, and it's a
Exactly. And it's
real
like probably
struggle.
also because like when you're from Germany, your historical background is like bad, you know? It's like, okay, so we started two world wars, you know, like we don't do
Yeah,
those things. Like
we're
you
not gonna honor
cannot
the
do this, and it's
military.
so so.
No, no.
And then like here they're like doing this, and I'm like just like red flags, red flags, red flags
Yeah.
everywhere, you know?
I struggled with the Pledge of Allegiance when we first moved to California, and they had to do the Pledge of
Oh,
Allegiance.
they
And now
did.
the kids did, yeah, once a week. I think there was
Oh,
one
once a
school in
week.
our
Okay.
district, they did it every morning, where I
Yeah,
was
we
like,
do it
that's a
every
bit
morning.
excessive.
Yeah.
And
Uh-huh.
our school did it on a Friday, and at first I'm like, oh my God, this is so over the top, and I can't believe they're doing this. And then moving to Texas where they're doing the Pledge of Allegiance and the Texas
Yeah,
thing,
and
and
it's so
it's
funny. So we have this thing at school, like I don't know, like I think like 4 times a year, when the kids, like some of the kids get like a special award when
oh yeah.
they did something outstanding. So every time we went there, and then all of a sudden everybody stands up, holds their arm to their hand to their heart, and
Hmm.
then says it, and then like, oh my God, like, was so crazy. It's
Yeah,
like, I don't know,
yeah,
you feel like you're like on a different planet or
yeah. So
something.
that's intense because you didn't have that in California because you didn't have the kids in school
Exactly, I
there,
didn't
so you
have
didn't have the
that, and
comparison.
no.
I feel like I had a bit of a softer landing in Texas because I had already experienced
Right, okay.
a lesser degree of all that, but at least I had some experience, so I wasn't completely shocked. I was just shocked at the because it's another few steps up in
Yes,
Texas.
and
So
also like now, so Veterans Day is coming up,
mhm.
and now they're practicing the hymn.
Yeah.
So my daughter like puts on like at night, like she says like, "Hey Siri, can you play the hymn?" I don't know what's it called again, the
Yeah.
American hymn. I don't know. Sorry, I don't know
What a
these.
Star Spangled
Yeah,
Banner.
yeah, yeah, exactly.
Oh
And
my
then
God, you're
like
so
out
gonna
of her
fail.
room.
You're gonna fail your citizenship test. Oh
Yes.
God. But my oldest never, it's like even now she still can't say the Pledge of Allegiance. She says I mean, they had to do it in school all the time, but she just kind of zoned
Just
out. She was just like,
mm,
it didn't go in. So I'm
it
like,
didn't go in.
wow, how did you do that? She's like, she has the song lyrics of probably 90% of every single song that's ever been
Yeah,
played in the world, but
but
not the
not
Pledge
that
of
one.
Allegiance. That didn't go in. Like, I would like to have that sort of selective memory.
Yeah. Yeah.
So what is your long-term goal, or do
Um,
you not have
uh,
one?
God, my long-term goal. Honestly, like, I don't know. I guess like
Yeah.
one part is like, hey, let's wait for the next
Hmm.
elections that are just around the corner.
Yeah.
But we're always like, Texas is not the end goal. We know
Hmm.
that. But then
Yeah.
also like we still don't have like a green card or anything, so we're still visa holders,
Oh, really? Are you
and
considering citizenship at all,
mm,
or?
so like when I was on the E2 visa, I could
Mhm.
not apply for the green card. That was like
Mhm.
one law of it, or one rule of it. And then we changed to my husband's
Mhm.
H1B visa,
Yeah.
and now we are on the last extension
Mhm.
of it. So the lawyers already told us like,
Mhm.
unless your husband gets promoted to like a higher position, then we can try the green card. But if
Okay.
not, green card is unlikely. So
Oh,
I
wow.
guess we are already have to think on what the future brings, because maybe we're not even cannot even stay longer, which
Wow.
kind of is after so many years here, it's like pretty tough when you live somewhere for whatever 12 years
Mhm.
and you still whatever not
You're still
cannot
not
legally
you're
stay.
not a legal alien or
Yes,
whatever. Yeah.
exactly.
Yes. Oh God. Yeah, that I can't imagine.
Yeah, so
That's a
this is
lot of
like,
uncertainty.
yes, it's a lot of uncertainty. I mean, we're already like, okay, like in 2 years,
Hmm.
we probably sell the house,
Yeah.
and it's like, okay, so where do we go next? So like, okay, maybe we
Hmm.
go to Spain, maybe we go to Japan.
Hmm.
Definitely not Germany. I
Hmm.
don't know. So yeah, we don't know. We don't know. We know that something needs to happen, a
Yeah.
decision needs to be made soon,
Yeah. So
but
so it sounds like Austin might not be your favorite place, or
no.
Texas maybe might not be your favorite place. It's good for the moment, but not somewhere
Yeah.
that you want to put
Yeah,
down
exactly. I
roots.
mean, I
Uh,
do like I
yeah.
mean, the kids
Okay,
love
yes,
it
this is my
here.
next thing. let's talk about the what you like about it, and maybe what you like more than California or less than California, if you want to compare it.
I mean, I honestly like, I don't think I can. I mean, the what I like more than California is probably that you don't have to live in a shoebox. Like, if
Mhm.
you know, because like the whatever, you always lived in like a small apartment. Here
Yeah,
you have more space. But
yeah.
I miss the nature in California. I miss like you were so close to the redwood trees, the
Hmm.
ocean, the cliffs. I don't know, you had like snow if you drive for like 3 hours. You had like
Hmm.
beach if you go a little bit further south. You know, so I think like if it comes to like all these natural lifestyles,
Hmm.
like you were like in the perfect place in California.
Yeah.
And I am like an outdoor person.
Hmm.
I am trapped here because, like in Austin, you're in the middle of Texas and there's nothing in Texas. You have to drive like for
Yeah.
six
Or you
hours
have to
if you
get on
want
a
a change
plane.
of scenery. Yes,
Yes.
exactly. Like in summer, we wanted to
Yeah.
go to the forest, you know,
Hmm.
just the forest, you know, nothing special. We had to drive for 6 hours,
Hmm.
you know, so I don't know. So nothing is close here. Everything is so far away from here. So you're really like in a big city, but the city is in the middle of nowhere
Yeah.
kind of
It's
thing.
a really, I know the feeling, and I felt kind of trapped there, and I ended up absolutely loving the city, and I had my friends and the places I would go,
Uh-huh.
and the food. I love the food in Austin, but the feeling of being like surrounded by nothing was getting me really down. And
Uh-huh.
it's that sense of, like you said, you have to drive for hours. And then also when you're used to, I mean, we're talking from a very privileged perspective, because
Exactly.
we
Yes.
living in California spoils you for
Yes, it does.
everything.
It
Because I
does.
remember
Yes.
going down to the coast in Texas, and then just thinking, I this
What
is
is this?
ridiculous. I'm
Yes, and then
sorry, but
also it's so weird in Texas that they take the cars to the
Mhm.
beach.
Yeah.
I'm like, why can you park
But
like
that's such a
right by
yeah,
the water?
but that's because they're Texan, because they can.
Yes, I know. They have like
Yeah.
special rules here. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. So where were we? We talked about yeah, anything else you love about the US in general? Something that you really would miss if you had to move back to Germany.
Yes, I mean, what I really would miss is like the national parks, you know, that it's such
Mm.
a wide country with like
Hmm.
all the diverse natural wonders there are.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know, I think I would like really have a hard time because like I haven't seen like whatever. I haven't seen Alaska. I haven't
Hmm.
been to like Yellowstone. I haven't been to
Yeah.
Glacier. You know, like all
Same.
these like natural parks
Mhm.
that are like on my list. I
Yeah.
would, yes, that's what I think they do really great here. They
Yeah.
do like a lot of things wrong, but the national parks, they
It's the
do that
best.
right.
Yes. I
Yes.
think a lot of people say that actually it's the best thing about the US, and the fact that it's accessible.
It's just so beautiful. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it's not so densely populated
Mhm.
here, you know?
Yeah.
That I
So is
mean, yeah.
there anything that you do miss from Germany sometimes, and that maybe, or is there anything that you do to, obviously your husband is German as well, so I'm assuming you speak
We
German with the
speak German,
kids,
yes.
and but is there something that you do to connect your family with German culture at
Mm,
times?
I mean, sometimes we make German food, but that's really not that often because I'm still pretty over it from the food
Yeah.
truck, you know? Like,
No more
I
sausages
mean,
and
like,
sauerkraut.
yeah, no more of
Yeah.
that. No, like
Yeah.
schnitzel, like, oh, maybe once a year, okay.
Yeah.
Um, but I mean, we go visit
Mhm.
once a year, you know, they talk to the family on the phone. And I mean, because of technology, it's super easy to stay
Yeah.
connected with the family.
Yeah.
Um, oh, what do we do? Super German. I mean, I don't think we do anything super German, but my husband and me, like, we still watch like German TV shows, you know, because like whatever you get the the ARD or ZDF
Oh, Mediathek.
Mediathek.
Yes.
Yes, and so like whatever.
Yeah.
So we watched the German equivalent to John Oliver,
Yes.
or like we watch German crime shows.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
what we still
Yeah.
do. Yeah.
Yeah, I do the same. I love it. And Netflix has got some good German
Right,
ones on
right.
as
Yeah,
well.
so
So
you
it's just
can
have to find
just
them.
watch
Mhm.
German
Yeah.
German pop culture. Sure.
Yes.
Actually, also like sometimes I read a German book,
Mhm.
all this, but I feel like in general I have no idea what's going on there. Like I don't know any German pop music
Mhm.
or
Well, you've been away
German artists.
for quite a long time now. What is it?
Yes.
For 12
Yeah,
years?
it's been 12 years. And I mean, whenever we go to visit,
Hmm.
we'll have the regular stops. I always go to the drugstore,
Of course.
and then I go to go eat some spaghetti ice cream.
Yeah.
So there are like those
Yeah.
certain things that like are on my list that we have to do every time, like or go to like a
Hmm.
Turkish street food place, something like that. But I don't miss it when I'm here,
Yeah.
because like
Yeah.
now I found like all pretty good substitutions for the things that I miss.
Yeah.
Or if I feel like, oh, Turkish food, oh, there's a kebab shop around the
Mhm.
corner. You can find it. No, I mean, I don't miss anything anymore.
Yeah, it's interesting how that happens, and the need to feel connected, or the need to know what's going on politically and all that. I think that after a while you just don't have enough time and energy to keep up with everything.
No,
So I feel the same way.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. I turn on the radio here, so I
And
know
it
at
is
least what's
and it
going
is
on
important,
here.
exactly. It's important to know what's going
Yeah,
on where you are, even if you can't vote, but you can at least inform yourself.
exactly. And and in Germany, sure, like I vote, it's super complicated.
Yeah.
And they make it really hard here. I mean, I wish like I know the French, they just can just go to the French
Yep.
school and then they vote. And in Germany, you have to whatever do the whole bureaucracy
Of course.
BS.
Of course.
And so it's really hard and
Yeah.
complicated. But I mean, but I'm also like, I'm not like reading. My husband does it. Like he reads like
Hmm.
Spiegel and whatever, like
Hmm.
all the time. Like he knows very well what's going on in politics or
Yeah.
like in media there. And I have like, I have no idea.
So before you go, we mentioned it earlier, you have a podcast too. And if people wanted to find you and connect, or maybe become a guest on your
Oh,
podcast,
yes. Yes.
can you tell us a little bit about it and where to find you?
Yes, so it's it's pretty similar to your podcast. So it's called Worlds Collide, the podcast about people who moved abroad. So yeah, I also talk to people who moved abroad to any place, from any place. And we always have like a nice chat about like their experiences, what they miss, what they struggle with, all kinds of things. And it's available wherever you listen to your podcasts, Spotify, Apple, Pocket Casts, I don't know, all of them. Yeah.
Yeah, and
And
people
it's, yeah,
people can just go on Instagram and find your Worlds Collide
exactly. They can also find me on
profile.
Instagram. Yes.
Hmm.
Yes.
Great, great. Yeah, that's how I think someone or was on a guest on yours, and then they told me
We had
about
a
it. I
few
don't
guests.
even.
I think we had a few common guests. I know
Yeah.
Steffi, no, not Steffi, Sarah from London.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Eh, uh,
yeah,
and also,
yeah.
oh, what's her name again? Um, American, moved to Paraguay
Oh yeah,
from
Nikki.
Germany.
Yes, yeah.
Nicole,
Who was
yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Who was in Freiburg and then is now in
Yes.
Paraguay. Yeah, yeah. So
Yes.
it's nice. And I feel like there's so much room for all these podcasts because there's so many people with this experience of leaving their home country and starting somewhere new. So I'm very happy to see
Yeah.
yours as well. And
Yes.
there might be more overlap. We might get a few more, you might get a few more guests
Probably.
been on
Probably.
here,
I won't
which
be
is also
surprised.
nice because mine has been going for 4 years now. And I feel like if I interviewed people again now, they would maybe add some things or have a different perspective. So
Exactly.
because a lot
Exactly.
happens in that
Exactly. And you
time.
change your perspective, make
Yeah.
new experiences,
Yeah.
good or
So
bad.
what I'm trying to say is to my listeners here, if you feel like you'd like to be a guest on another podcast, then maybe Victoria's podcast is the one for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, it was great talking to you and talking about those places that we both know very well.
Yeah, likewise. Yes,
yeah.
so much fun.
All right. Take care.
All
Take
right.
care.
Yes, you too. Bye.
Bye. Wow, that was like a mini trip back to Texas. I was transported back to the hot, humid days and that strange combination of modern and old-fashioned. And yeah, it was really funny. The funniest thing is actually that I was in the middle of editing this episode when I left for Austin, because I've just come back from a short trip there. And so it was like double exposure in a way. And the funny thing is, like, when I listened to this recording and the way we complain about the weather, it just made me smile, because the weather this last week in Austin was absolutely perfect, and it was just beautiful. It was warm, not all the time. It was quite chilly, especially in the mornings, but there was no hint of humidity. And yeah, it was just absolutely gorgeous. So so please know that what we talk about in the episode is the summer in Austin. And because you might have left the conversation thinking, oh my god, I never want to go there, that sounds horrible. Yeah, it's when we recorded this, it was also still September, which in Austin is still the middle of summer. And so Victoria had just survived several months of severe heat and humidity, and so that's why she sounded so completely sick of it. I tell you, November is a whole other story. It was also really nice to see how much I still feel at home in Austin. It's a really interesting thing that happens when you go back to a place where you used to live. And it doesn't happen with every place, but yeah, I left Austin almost 3 years ago, but yeah, it's just every time I go there, I feel like I'm coming home. So it got under my skin. That city got under my skin. Yep, and now I'm back in the freezing northeast, getting ready for Christmas. And I just can't get my head around it, but I feel like that every single year, so there's no surprise. I kind of have to force myself to get the Christmas decorations up, and then I'll get in the mood. I actually really like this time of year, provided I have heating and warm clothes. Oh yeah, remember to share this podcast and ask your friends or colleagues if they want to be a guest. I'm always ready for new stories, and whether they're in German or English. And of course, I also really need more destination specials, especially now over the winter months. I would love to travel vicariously to other places, and I would really like to expand this part of the podcast. So yeah, don't be shy. Don't be shy and show off your favorite city or island or country or whatever you want to present. And that's it for today. Stay happy and healthy. I hope you don't get too stressed out by the pre-Christmas period. I know this time of year can be a little bit crazy, but yeah, I hope you have time to switch off, find a quiet spot, make some time for yourself with some music or a podcast or a book. And yeah, don't get dragged down. Don't let yourself get stressed out. And that is really it for today. Take care, and I'll see you next time.